안녕하세요, 여러분. Welcome back. Michi Sam here. Michi's 미친 영어 YouTube channel where I'm teaching you phrases, ways to be a leader in English. When you speak English at work, maybe in business, in relationships, how to make yourself sound more professional, how to make yourself more of a leader, and how to speak English confidently. That's what we're doing on this YouTube channel. So thanks for joining me. Now today, we're going to talk about something that might be a little bit difficult. You know, we're going to talk about something you might not like very much. Nobody likes, actually. And that is receiving negative feedback. Oh, nobody likes negative feedback. We don't like to be criticized, right? We don't like, even if it's not criticism, but let's say someone is just giving you some suggestions. Usually we don't even like that, you know. If someone tells you, oh, I think you should try to change this or do this differently, you know, our first reaction usually is, who are you? Don't tell me what to do. Even if it's your boss, right? We still have that reaction because we're all human. So if your boss says, I don't like that, do it differently, you might say, yes, okay, but inside you're thinking, why is he telling me what to do? I don't need to listen to him. I can do it better. That's the human reaction, okay? I'm not going to talk about that reaction because that is different for everybody, but that's on the inside. You can deal with that however you need to. But on the outside, let's talk about how are you going to handle that on the outside. Feedback 받는 거 정말 힘들죠, right? But leaders handle it differently. And this is how we're going to do it. Okay, I'm going to teach you a few phrases to use if someone gives you difficult feedback. You know, even if it's not even that negative, but this will help you to, because, you know, like I said, our first reaction sometimes is not the best reaction. What we feel first, you know, we don't want to just throw that out there, especially if it's your boss, right? Or a business partner or client, customer, even team members. You know, we want to have good relationships. So we don't want to just give our first reaction to the negative feedback. Even though we feel like it, we don't want to. So there's a couple of things we can try. One is the candor rule. Candor, C-A-N-D-O-R. Candor means honesty. Honesty. Yeah, frankness. So instead of thank you for your advice, that's okay. You could say that too. Thank you for your advice. But this sounds better. I appreciate your candor. I appreciate your candor. That means I am thankful that you spoke to me honestly. You know, that means you respect me enough to speak honestly. Because, frankly, it is good if your boss or your team members or a client or customer or anybody, friends, if they feel comfortable enough with you to give you some honest feedback. That's actually a really good thing. That's not a bad thing. We feel bad because we don't like that negative feedback. But what I want you to do is think, this person respects me enough. This person cares about me enough that they want to help me by giving me some feedback. Think that and it will help you to react better, okay? And in doing that, you could say this, I appreciate your candor. And really mean it. Say, you know, inside, really think, I'm really thankful that this person feels like they can be honest with me. That means they respect me. That means we have a good relationship. You know, that's true. And so don't just get offended. Don't just get angry. You know, really be thankful for their honesty because that is a rare thing. You know, some people, some leaders, they have a lot of people around them and we call them yes men. Yes men are people who just say, oh yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. Always saying that the leader is right. And guess what? If a leader thinks he's right all the time and everybody says he's right, he's going to fall. It's going to end badly. We've seen it many, many times and we're seeing it right now in the world, right? So you should want people who are going to speak candidly. We call it candidly, candor, candidly is the adverb. Someone who's going to speak honestly to you. You should really want that and you should really appreciate that and value that, okay? It shows that you value the truth even if it hurts, right? Even if like, I didn't like that. Didn't feel good. But I trust this person and I respect that they're willing to be honest with me. Because of that mutual respect and relationship, we can both grow and get better. Now, does that mean that you have to take their advice? No, maybe they're wrong. They could be wrong. But the point is, they're honest enough and they care about you enough to be honest and tell you their opinion. So you should be thankful for that and you should let them know. Say, oh, you know what? I really appreciate your candor. Thank you for that. Thanks for being honest. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is you want to acknowledge. Acknowledge. If the feedback is true, what they said is true, then you could say this phrase, that's a valid point. That's a valid point. Valid means, you know, they have a good point. It has some merit. It may not be 100% true, but it's somewhat true. I can agree, admit, right? So that's a valid point. You don't have to agree with everything they're saying, but what you're doing is acknowledging their perspective, and that kind of builds a bridge. So when you say, you know, that's a valid point, then they feel like you heard them. And so they say, okay, good, we're communicating. It doesn't mean you agree, okay? Valid point doesn't mean it's 100% true, okay? But it just means I see what you're saying, I hear what you're saying, and, you know, I'll take that into consideration, but I'm not admitting 100% yet, but I'm basically saying I understand you and I hear you. I hear you. And that's important because often when people give you their opinion, they just want to be heard. They want to feel like you are listening to them. And so you can make them feel valid by saying, you know what, that's a valid point. That's a valid point. Okay, and then the next thing is the process. Don't promise immediate change. Okay, this is sometimes we feel like we have to say, especially if it's the boss, we say, like, oh yes, I'll do that right away. Oh yeah, I'll change that right now. Don't do that because you might not. You might think about it later and say like, I don't think that's right. They don't quite understand this issue. Or, you know, maybe you try what they did and it fails. You know, there's a lot of reasons why you don't want to promise that you're going to do what they said. Okay. But what you can say is this phrase, say, I'll take that into account. I'll take that into account. That means I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to hear it. I'm going to try it maybe. I'm going to work on that, what you're suggesting. I'll take it into account. It doesn't mean I'll do it. It doesn't mean I'll do it. But it's a very professional way to say, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. I'm going to think about that at least. Okay? So try that phrase. Instead of I'll do that, say, okay, I'll take that into account. So leadership is about growth. You know, if you practice these phrases, you're going to watch your professional relationships change, right? It's going to help you in your work relationships, even in social relationships. You can use these phrases, right? You know, whenever, if your wife or somebody, let's say your friend says to you, they give you some advice, you know, this is a good thing to try. You know, same thing. You just say, you know what? I appreciate your candor. I appreciate your honesty. It's a valid point. I'll take that into account. Thank you. Okay? Very simple and easy way to get the other person to feel like you heard them, to feel like you understand them, and to feel like you're going to give their advice a try. And you should. You should always try to take into account other people's advice and feedback. Doesn't mean you always have to do it. No. Doesn't mean you have to follow everybody's commands. No. But you should at least take it into account. That means think about it, maybe try it, you know, research a little bit about it. Don't just ignore, okay? Don't just ignore them because people in your life are important. People in your work are important. You need them. We need them. If we're going to be leaders, we need to listen to feedback, even negative feedback. But there are many good ways to handle negative feedback. And today I've given you some. So go back and watch this video again and again and try to use some of these phrases the next time someone gives you negative feedback. Okay, everybody, check out my website at mitchinenglishcoach.com for more good content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.